Hello, viewer. You can tell this is serious because there's no music playing. A year ago, I made a video essay called The Bizarre World of Fake Video Games, and I really loved making that video. But you can imagine my shock when the publisher of Vermis, HoloPress, reached out to me and asked if I wanted to create an entire book about fake video games. A year later, that is exactly what we did. A high-quality, hardcover book filled with reviews, previews, and retrospectives on games that never existed. I scoured the internet looking for the most insane and beautiful fake video games I could find, and working with the artists who created them, as well as our graphic designer Marco, who is just one of the most inhumanly talented people I've ever met, I am so proud of what we made, and you can pre-order it today. The book is the first in a new HoloPress series called the UDWFG Essays, and will be available in two versions, a regular edition and a special collector's edition, which will include an A4 print signed by me, as well as Plastaboo, the creator of Vermis, who by some miracle, we got to do the cover for this book. And as an added bonus for both versions, we'll be including a special holographic sticker sheet for the first 1,000 pre-orders. The book is scheduled to release at the end of October, and I'll actually be attending the Luca Comics and Games Festival to celebrate its launch. Shipments will be taking place in late November, but pre-orders are open today for a very limited time. Link is in the description. I hope it's obvious at this point, but I don't sell shit on this channel that I don't really believe in, and I am so proud of this book and everyone who worked on it. And I hope you enjoy it too. Okay, thank you.
Some of you may have seen that I think there was an article, I think it was from the Times, I don't fucking know. There was an article released for the 100 best movies of the century so far. And I thought that was a really interesting idea for a list. I didn't read it because I don't particularly care. But in my own hubris, I did assemble my own list of top 10 movies of the century so far. And we are going to go through that. So, okay. My top 10 films of this century. Number 10, Spring Breakers. Okay, if you guys have never seen this film, this poster probably doesn't give the best impression of it. Spring Breakers is a fucking lunatic nightmare fever dream where a bunch of girls become murderers on spring break, and it's fucking awesome. I remember just sitting there in the cinema and just like looking up at it, and I kind of felt like I was in a coma. I felt like it was just so good. Satire. No, unfortunately, guys, if you think that this is a controversial pick, just wait till we get further down this list. I love Spring Breakers. It's just, I think, a fucking bizarre and insane movie. Number 9, we have Red motherfucking Line. Red Line is just, I mean, look, I've done a video on Red Line. It's just one of the best movies. It's just one of the best animated movies of all time. The game, you know, so it's about racing. I don't give a fuck about racing. I don't care about racing. It doesn't matter. There is nothing that looks like Redline. There is nothing that feels like Redline. Redline is just one of the most singular and unique animated movies of all time. I don't know who the fuck they thought they were making it for. I don't know what their target audience was. It doesn't matter. This is a film for no one, and by result, a film for lunatics, and it's so incredible. It's such an amazing, amazing movie. I have a whole full video where I break down what's good about it, and it's so difficult to say, but just you will never see a film that looks like this. You'll never see a film that feels like this. The soundtrack, the characters, there's so much going on. It's all at once like a love story, a story about overcoming your past, a story about like geopolitical craziness, and it's fucking immensely amazing movie. A pretty uncontroversial pick, and I think this next one will probably be uncontroversial as well. Pixar's Up. Listen, I'm not the biggest Pixar fan, but even I will admit, is back in the golden days when Pixar hit, they fucking hit. They were so good. And this absolutely does. This is one of just the best movies that I have ever seen. I think it's funny. I think it's heartfelt. I think so much about it is just like incredible. I adore it. I remember when I first watched this movie, I went to see it with a friend of mine in the cinema. And afterwards, she asked me, did the film make me cry? And I was like, no, it didn't make me cry. Like, it was a good movie, but it didn't get me like that, you know? That Christmas, I sit both my parents down to watch Up, right? And I swear to God, chat, it's the opening segments. She falls on the hill, she trips on the hill, and in front of my parents, I'm in fucking tears watching that bit. It's also just an incredibly funny movie, and it's like it's something that I really wish didn't take Pixar so long to get behind. The characters in Up look weird. Everyone looks strange and kind of fucked up like a Muppet, and I love that rather than like the kind of house Pixar style that I feel like we get every other movie. Incredible movie. Okay, that is number 8. Number 7, Tekken Kincrete. Do you guys want to know what the lowest viewed video on my entire channel is? It's a video about Tekken Kincrete, one of the best movies I have ever seen. Okay, if I want to cite like one thing that has maybe been like the biggest impact on like Eyepatch Wolves creatively, it's Tekken Kincrete. Tekken Kincrete is just this fucking incredible, joyous movie. It is so much fun. It is so weird. It's about these two street kids who like live in this insane town called Treasure Town. This is how they travel through Treasure Town. They leap over the buildings, and they're nearly like superheroes. And over the course of the film, the city slowly gets gentrified and slowly starts turning into something else. And it's sad, and it's heartbreaking, and it's funny, and visually it's one of the coolest fucking things you will ever see. Tekken Kincrete it's absolutely one of my favorite movies in existence, and I love it. It's actually something, now that I'm looking at it, it might be a little low on this list. I think it could maybe go a little higher, but I feel like every time you do a list like this, you invariably run into that where you're like, oh god damn, this should maybe be a little higher. Like, I don't know about this order, but yeah. So everything about this, like, the order of this list depends on what day you ask me. Number 6, John Wick motherfucking 4. I wonder if John is capable of making a top 100. Neon Clay, I am working on a top 100 movies video. I am working on a top 100 movies video and a top 100 games video, and I'm hoping to have them both release in the next month. The movies video will be released to everyone. The games video will only be to patrons. So, yeah. John Wick 4, for my money, is the greatest action movie of all time. It has the best action. It has the best fight scenes. I am aware The Raid exists. I am aware John Wick 2 exists. I love old kung fu movies. I just don't think that any movie I've ever seen combines aesthetic and action like John Wick 4. I have seen this movie. I went to see this movie twice in the cinema. The second time I went to see it with my dad, and he was like, John, I don't want to go see one of your fucking Japanese things or whatever. And I was like, no, Dad, this will be cool. We're going to have a great time. We came out of that movie at midnight, and I turned to him and I go, Dad, was that not fucking awesome? And he goes, John, that was fucking awesome. 'Cause it is. Look, if you haven't seen this movie, go see it. If you ever have a chance to see it on a big screen, for the love of God, go see it. It is like nothing else you will ever see. You watched The Raid 2? I've also watched The Raid 2, sick-ass movie. I adore John Wick 4. The very best movies on this list put me in a kind of trance that I just cannot break free from. If I start watching any random scene from John Wick 4, I will watch the whole fucking thing. It is just an incredible, incredible movie. Okay, number 5. This is going to be a controversial one. The next 3 are going to be controversial ones. It's my list, motherfuckers, okay? You are free to make your own list. I can't help that I love these movies that much. It is what it is, okay? Number 5, I know people are gonna go mental at this. Shape of My Voice. Look, I saw this movie in the cinema, and I absolutely fucking loved everything about it. It broke me. It broke me so fucking bad. I guess what I will say is that in a way that, like, I have never really kind of talked about too publicly, someone I know and care about a lot used to be very unwell in a way that really, really affected their lives and really, really used to relate how they related to people and how they related to the world around them. It was impossible for me to watch this movie and not see that person I care about in these characters. And it fucking killed me. It absolutely killed me. It just really, really destroyed me. I think everything else about the film, I think it's a great soundtrack. I think it's aesthetically fucking perfect. Like, it's a gorgeous movie. I understand that there's a lot of people who say, no, you gotta read the manga. The manga's the real thing. I've read some of the manga and I really enjoyed it, but it doesn't change the fact that I adore this fucking movie so, so much. As someone who suffers from the troubles, Donatello, I think that might mean a different thing to an Irish person, but yeah, I feel you, buddy. This movie wrecked me. The person who did the soundtrack also did the soundtrack for Chainsaw Man. I did not know that. There is less pushback than I was expecting for this in the chat, I gotta say. And I've only watched this movie once, and that's because the next time I watch it, I want to watch it with that person that I talked about. I don't think they'll care about it as much as I do, but I kind of just want to share it with them and kind of have that moment with them. So yeah, it's a silent voice, by the way. Was there not an early translation where it was Shape of My Voice, or am I confusing that with something else entirely? Because I know it's called a silent voice, but I thought there, yeah, anyway. People love this movie. Okay, I think what I may be reacting to is like the old anime YouTube reaction to this movie, where I feel like everyone had to have a hot take on it and everyone had to say like, oh, it's actually like a bad movie. I don't know. Not like to delegitimize people if they actually don't like the movie, but I fucking loved it. The Shape of Voice is an alt title. Okay, got ya. So, this is my number 5 pick. Number 4. This one's gonna be controversial. This one I think will be. Motherfucking Skinamarink. I recommended Skinamarink to 2 friends, Brian and Brobex, and they were both pissed with me afterwards. They were both like, why did you recommend that? Why did you recommend that? So here's my history with Skinamarink, right? I tried to watch Skinamarink with my wife, and we were just like, no, I'm not feeling this. We turned it off. I tried to watch it again by myself. No, I don't. This fuck whatever this is. I have no interest in this. I don't want to watch this. But this fucking movie, it stayed with me. It stayed with me so bad, right? And so a couple of months later, Michelle's out of town. I'm in the apartment by myself, and I'm like, fuck it. You know what? Let's give Skinamarink another shot. Pour myself a tall glass of whiskey. I turn off all the lights, and I sit back, and I get fucking lost in this movie. It is like a hallucinogenic experience is what I feel like this is. And during that experience, it is one of the most terrifying encounters I have ever had with a piece of media. This movie scares me so fucking badly that by the end of it, I'm like gripping my chair. I want it to end because I'm so fucking freaked out. There's a line in this movie, and it's just, now put the scissors in your eyes, and it fucked me so bad, okay? if you are going to take the plunge with this movie, don't watch it with friends. Don't watch it with a rowdy crowd. Headphones on, house empty, lights off. Just fucking let it happen. Just let the movie happen. See what you feel and just fucking come out of it. I don't think, like, I could never do an analysis on this movie that would recapture what this movie did to me. I could never do it because it's not about what the movie means. It's not about, like, the secret story of the movie. It is about how it fucking just collides with you and drags you into a fucking nightmare in a way that, like, no other movie I've ever seen has done. And there's no story. There's no characters. Well, there nearly is. So much of it is unsaid, and so much of it is, like, just shit you are going to notice while watching it. Okay, look. A loose ghost. I couldn't think of a better way to describe Skinamarink than this. Can't believe a Fisher-Price telephone made me shit myself. There you go. That's the perfect review of Skinamarink. And it's incredible. I love this movie so much. Okay. Number 3. The number 3 movie. It's not my fault that history has not caught up with The Matrix Reloaded, okay? It's not my fault that it hasn't had the critical re-examination that it deserves, okay? Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about The Matrix 1, okay? The original Matrix, the 1996 movie, it's a good effort. It's a good first draft. It's a good preliminary sketch. But we only needed that to get to this. Wait, to get to this. Okay? The first Matrix is fine. It's a fine movie. It's a solid B+. But we have yet to hit S. Okay? Look, I'm glad that they made a prequel movie to The Matrix Reloaded. It's great that it fleshes out the lore in some interesting ways. But The Matrix Reloaded is real, man! The Matrix Reloaded could happen! Hold up, The Matrix is a masterpiece. No argument! The Matrix is solid. But what if we made something that was a better Matrix movie than The Matrix? You'd make the Matrix Reloaded 100 Smiths, chat. 100 Smiths. That man had werewolves and vampires in his mansion. Cake made the lady orgasm. John is completely insane. Maybe. But guess what? You all watch. You could turn this off at any moment, but you choose not to. Because while you do not agree with me, on some level, on some primordial level, you feel that something real is happening here. And it is one person's unrestrained love of the third best movie of the 21st century. What about Revelations, though? It's fine. It's okay. It's grand. Yes, I disagree, but it makes me feel so alive. P.S. Knights, that means more to me than if you agreed. Number 2. I feel like this is going to be controversial as well. Evangelion 2.0. I understand the reasons why some people don't like this movie. To me, this is so much of what I love about Evangelion, just compressed into 2 hours. I think this is a joyous movie. I think it's a fucking gorgeous movie. I love everything about it. It captures so much of what I love about Evangelion. And Evangelion, look, if you ask me on the right day, Evangelion is going to be my favorite movie my favorite piece of media of all time. It's going to be a toss-up between that and Berserk, and maybe like 1 or 2 others, but on the right day, Eva is my favorite piece of media. And I think this movie is a fucking immaculate compression of it. I disagree, but I get it. Look, that's all I'm asking. All I'm asking, chat, is for you to open your soul just for a moment so you can see where I'm coming from with some of these. And with Evangelion, I remember, like, I watched it in the Lighthouse Cinema in Dublin, and it was the first time I'd ever seen anime on a big screen in Dublin, and I had never seen Evangelion 2.0 before, and I saw it with Michelle, and it was one of those moments where I was just so fucking delighted to be able to share this thing I love so much with her. And I adored it. I absolutely adored it. I think this movie is a compressed distillation of everything that is amazing about Eva. You have the teenage angst, you have the hijinks, you have the robot battles. It's a beautiful distillation of the fucking miracle that is Evangelion. And I adore this movie. And this is before Spirited Away. Oh shit, okay. Okay, no, that was actually after Spirited Away, so my bad. No, wait, when did Spirited Away come out? I think that was a 90s movie. No, was that 2001? Spirited Away was 2001. I didn't realize that. Which means you have to push everything on this list down one. But number one on this list, and I'm actually not expecting this one to be that controversial, but to the point that I think that it's kind of a boring pick in some ways. What I consider the best movie I have watched that came out in the last 25 years, or at least I would do if not for Spirited Away, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm gonna be real and say that this movie genuinely broadens my perspective on what is possible with movies. I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. I fucking loved it more than I can possibly describe right now. It was a combination of so many things, and I've still only watched it once. I want to watch it again. I thought it was like one of the most hilarious movies I've ever seen, one of the most exciting, one of the most dramatic, one is just a movie that, like, it's a miracle movie that to me is a 10 in like every category. Like, there is no stone this movie leaves unturned. There is nothing this film left me wanting at all. I can think of individual movies, I can think of individual parts of other movies that I think are better than Everything Everywhere All at Once. I can't think of a single other movie from this century that does everything this movie does as hard as it does all at once. So yeah, I love it. I think it's an incredible movie, and I adore it. Now, that said, if we're gonna really talk about it, the number 0, look, this is just what it is, chat. The number 0 movie here is Spirited Away, okay? If you want me to point out one single movie, right? One single movie that changed my life, it was Spirited Away. It was absolutely Spirited Away. I am here right now doing this stream in part because I fucking watched Spirited Away. I've told this story before, I'm gonna tell it now. When I went to see the number 3 greatest movie of the last 25 years, The Matrix Reloaded, me and a buddy got super stoned beforehand, and we went to see The Matrix Reloaded, and during that movie, Spirited Away's trailer played. And we were both just like, whoa, what the fuck is that, man? What kind of fucking drugs were those guys on when they made it? I later learned that they were not on drugs. Hayao Miyazaki would never. So then, like, a couple of months later, it came out, and it became this in-joke with us. We're like, we're gonna go see Spirited Away. It's gonna be crazy, man. And I went to see that movie in the cinema, having no concept of what Studio Ghibli was, having no concept of Miyazaki, or having just not seen a lot of anime feature movies. It's genuinely, I think, rewrote part of my DNA. I walked out of that fucking movie different than I walked in. Okay? I was like a different person by the end of that screening. because of the fucking just impact it had on me. It showed me so much about what art could be, that art like wasn't just this thing you watched or listened to, that art was this thing that could create fucking worlds that you could walk around in. That's what Spirited Away is for me. It's still an incredibly beloved movie. I still adore watching it, and like when I watch it now, the feeling I have is so strong that for a moment there's parts of the movie that make me feel like that stoned 15-year-old. You know, there's parts of the movie that warp me back 20 years, and I'm just like, I am just in awe and just so appreciative that this thing exists and that I get to experience it. Like, no matter how like the rest of my life might fall apart, for all the fucking awful things that could happen in terms of like losing people or not being able to do my job anymore or anything, I am so thankful that Spirited Away exists and I can watch it. And that ultimately, like, I know I'm always going to be able to go back to this movie, and I think that's like just incredible. I think it's a really, really just such a special piece of art. So chat, that is my top 10 movies of the century. At some point in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be dropping my top 100 movies of all time. I think the video is going to be like 4 hours long. And it's going to be a regular Eyepatch Wolf video. It's not going to be a Super Eyepatch Wolf video. The Super Eyepatch Wolf video is coming and will be out in a similar time frame.